It's Channel Mom with Jenny Dean Schmidt. We're here for you.
Brought to you by the Healthy Marriage Project. Just click on one of their ads to find out about a healthy relationship workshop near you.
There's something about being a single mom when you just feel just alone in the world. And, you know, you crawl in bed at night and you're by yourself and you've got an early morning meeting and you can't make it, or you've got to figure something out because how are you going to get the kids to school? And even if dad is still in the picture, then it comes down to, you know, Mom, my uniform is at my dad's house. And you're like, okay, your game is in 10 minutes and your dad lives 20 minutes away. And so there's just kind of this feeling, to use a really scientific term, about being a single mom.
And is there a great deal of guilt for single moms, do you think, that feel like they're not being a good enough mom?
I think that's pretty much across the board for moms in general.
Yes, I would agree.
As a mom, we never do enough. For me, actually, speaking from a mom, somebody told me, you're going to screw your kid up. It's just how you love them and help them work through what you do to them.
You also run a dating business. So tell folks about where your dating business is, how they can find you, and what 2 or 3 of the principles are. And we'll start with one, because then we're going to take a break, for how you advise moms to get back out into the dating world.
One of the main things, the key to it all is you have to love yourself. You have to have self-worth and self-love before you even step out in the dating world. And the analogy that I use with this is my daughter does this all the time to me. She'll take a bite of something and she goes, "Ooh, Mom, this is nasty. Here, you try it." And I'm like, why would I want to try this if it's nasty? Well, if you jump out in the dating world and you don't truly cherish and love yourself, you go out and you're like, oh, I want to find a man who will love me, but I think I'm pretty lousy.
Yeah, and so try it.
Yeah, try it.
My
this is gross.
Yeah,
this is really nasty. Here, try it. Like it.
Yeah.
So it's about self-worth. And, you know, some of the things they talk about with self-worth is, you know, things like, oh, get a manicure or pedicure, take care of yourself in that way. And all of those are good. But even deeper is truly spending time with yourself. Take yourself out on a date. Find something new, whether it's something crafty or whether it's going on a walk, trying golf, some way to really figure out and find who you are and what is so special and wonderful about you.
And what gives you pleasure that you can give to yourself as a gift. In the back of your book, and we are talking to Tracy Fagan, the author of Gratitude, Giggles, and Grace, and also dating coach extraordinaire, you list some ways to love yourself that married moms can use too.
Absolutely.
You've got some great advice back here, and you have a section for free, and then the cost goes up. Tell me, how does a mom out there who is loath to be kind to herself, how does she get to that place where she loves on herself?
A big part of it, and this is going to sound very mechanical, but set aside time in your calendar, in your day, first thing in the morning.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I have found that if I say, oh, well, I'll do it after I've tried like working out first and then, and then having, you know, Bible study. And once I start doing that, other things start getting in the way.
Absolutely, girl.
So it's about really, scheduling time, and don't pencil it in. Use a pen, use a Sharpie if you need to. And I had a really hard time. I would, set aside time for myself, and then something would come up. And for the longest time, I would feel so guilty about telling him, no, I'm sorry, I can't, fill in the blank. I need to take time for myself. And finally, I realized that was doing more damage than good, to not take time for me.
Yeah. Yeah, you're loving other people if you love yourself first. You're loving God. People that walk around hating themselves and not being good to themselves are not honoring the one who made them. And whether you're in that place or not, whether you're somebody who believes in God or not, it's just true. Loving yourself is good for other people. And if you happen to be a believer, it's also good, it's good PR for the one who made you.
And then once you start like really getting into this and loving it, then when if you do start getting into a relationship, all of a sudden it's like, you know what? I really miss fill in the blank. Or you don't even get to the point of missing it because you're like, sorry, can't go out with you tonight. I'm doing my own thing.
Yeah.
And
that's healthy.
And again, what that does is it starts setting up this this whole place of respect.
Yeah.
To where if the man that you're dating can't respect that, you're like, you know what? Time out for me tonight. If he can't respect that, that's a huge red flag. A huge red flag.
Yeah. I know you got a couple of different tips. I want to hear about the others that can be a blessing to our moms today.
Well, another one, and this is for both single moms as well as married moms, is practice being vulnerable. And what I mean by that is really opening up your heart. And the thing is, it's much easier to do that when you love yourself, because all of a sudden you're kind of like, oh, I want to share something really cool with you. And you can share something that's special to you. And if you love yourself, it's going to remain special no matter what the other person thinks of it.
So practice being vulnerable, even if you've been hurt and you're afraid to be hurt again by someone's reaction. How do you do that?
Well, part of it is baby steps. I mean, you don't start right at the beginning and just opening up, the floodgates and sharing everything, but take little baby steps. The other thing is practice with your kids and your friends. So if you hear something on the radio or read a newspaper article and you've got an opinion about it that might be, different from the world or whatever, go ahead and open up that conversation and be okay. Practice having a stance and a solid stance about something you believe in, and open that up and get into a conversation where people aren't good, bad, right, or wrong.
Yeah.
They just are.
It takes a long time, by the way. I just want to remind moms, This is a fabulous tip, but it could take a couple of years to get to that place where you can be vulnerable and share an opinion and not get offended when somebody disagrees. Just be open. Like, okay, this is us sharing, and this is me being confident in what I believe and how I feel about something, right?
Right. And the other part that I found really to be a very true statement is once you start becoming more vulnerable and opening up and not engaging in a fight with somebody who's going to fight with you about it, you'll start attracting more people that will be more open and vulnerable themselves.
Yeah. How do they get a hold of you if they feel like they need your help?
Well, you can find me on datingsurvivalinfo.com. And for those of you who don't win the book for free, I'm also offering a free teleseminar next week, August 13th. And you can register for that on my website. It's called Getting Intimate with Your Clothes On, the key to creating true connection in dating. So if you can't make it during the time that it's going to be live, I will definitely be offering the recording to anybody who registers. So go to datingsurvivalinfo.com and you'll find a banner there, and click on that banner and you can get registered in the call-in details.
Great. And that's free. And that's great free advice for them.